Hello everyone, welcome back to MSI, aka fucking mental torture. Apparently it's already been over 4 months since the last episode. That's pretty crazy. Anyways, first things first, I crafted myself some vortex armor and vortex booster. Then I thought I would go for the first boss of post moonlord, the profane guardians. So I went over to hell to grind out the profane shard to summon them. Glassmaker is really amazing for this. Anyways, so I went home and crafted the profane shard. So after 2 attempts of trying to kill them with a glassmaker, I didn't really get anywhere, and since profane guardians aren't the only post moonlord boss I could try to kill right now, I decided to give Dragon Folly a try instead, and that actually went surprisingly well. On my first attempt I got Dragon Folly down to 73.5%. So I kept on trying to kill it, and this boss really took me far less attempts than what I expected. So I pulled a stupid and deleted the fucking Dragon Folly winning run. So the following footage will just be a redo, sorry about that. Dragon Folly's death unlocked me a few Legend Feathers, as well as dropping the Dynamo Stem Cells, which increase your range damage by 10% and movement speed by 10%, which is quite goated. And a drop in the Golden Eagle, which is one of my favorite post moonlord weapons. And after that, with my new couple upgrades, I decided to go right back into doing Profane Guardians. Well, as you could see, that didn't go well one bit. So, maybe it's a weapon issue, I thought. How about I try Mirror Blade instead? I mean, it's good on Devourer of Gods, so surely it's good on Profane Guardians as well, right? Well, to test that, I needed to get my hands on the Mirror Blade, and that requires Ceaseless Void to be defeated. So let's go ahead and try to kill him. So, something tells me that it did not go well again. Okay, Stormweaver it is. But first, I wanted to get myself a melee setup, because Elemental Shiv would be really good against the Stormweaver. So I farmed Astrum Deus and got myself Solar Armor, as well as Solar Wings and the Elemental Shiv. And so it was time to kill Stormweaver. With the Stormweaver dead, I had access to the Storm Dragoon and the Storm Bow, which in turn would allow me to deal better damage as a ranger, so I went over and tried to kill the Ceaseless Void with my new weapons. That went quite terrible, so I tried out a bunch more weapons like the Solstice Claymore and the Devastation. That also didn't work out, so I swapped back to using the Arc of the Cosmos and my Rindle combo. And a few rounds later, I was successful in killing him. Just kidding, I fucking killed myself. That was fucking stupid. Well, 50 attempts later, I did not die to his desperation phase and actually killed him. From the treasure bag I also got the Void Concentration Staff, which is an absolutely amazing summon, so that put me in hopes that I could deal even more damage now. Well, let's put that to the test. And with my new Mirror Blade and Void Concentration Staff, I could do the exact same amount of damage as I could before. Actually even less than before. What the fuck? So I swapped back to the Grey Sword of Judgment and tried to kill him for another 200-ish runs. And so after these runs, I just gave up and tried to kill Devourer of Gods instead. Now, Devourer of Gods is usually supposed to be killed after Guardians, way after Guardians, but he could be killed right after Moonlord, and that is basically what I was trying to do. So, Mirror Blade, that was good in Devourer of Gods. I didn't do any research, I just went with it. However, there was a better option that I only found out right after the playthrough ended, which was the Stellar Striker. It could do around pre-nerf Mirror Blade damage. Oh well, Mirror Blade it is. Okay, now onto the boss. For no reason at all, I had way more patience with Devourer of Gods than with Profane Guardians. Still though, I died to his last phase alone around 55 times. Well, first I tried to kill him using the Elemental Shiv and the Solar Flare armor, because I thought the dash from Solar Flare armor would be better than the dash from the Asgard Veiler, which turned out to be entirely incorrect because it only can be used 3 times before I got fucking killed. Well, that didn't work out. Let's try Beetle armor instead. What the freak? Is that the second phase? Oh, okay. Well, the Mirror Blade was obviously better than the Elemental Shift, so I swapped to that. And so with this setup without any upgrades, I just kept on trying to kill him. Let's roll the death montage. While I was seeing little to no progress with Devourer of Gods, I still didn't give up, and that paid off because on around 361 this happened. Really, you thought I'd win? Nuh-uh, I fucking died again. And yes, I really did just make you watch a 38.5-second montage for nothing. For real though, I did actually win on run number 362, so let's jump right into it. I promise I won't do this shit again. Well, now that Devourer of Gods is dead, I can finally kill Profane Guardians! Yeah, this was literally the entire point of me killing Devourer of Gods. But besides that, I also get access to Cosmolite Bars, the Cosmic Discharge, and a few other things. And with the Cosmolite Bars, I craft myself some Godslayer armor for both my melee and ranged setups. And with my newly acquired Cosmic Discharge, I go right ahead and kill Profane Guardians as well as Providence. Providence dropped an Elysian Aegis, which I could use to craft the Asgardian Aegis, which is the best dash accessory in the game. She also dropped Divine Geodes, which would allow me to craft Tarragon armor, which is also used to craft Auric Tesla armor. But before crafting anything, I decided to go ahead and kill Cygnus, for no reason at all. That was close. So after defeating Cygnus, I went home and crafted a blessed dragon egg, and went right into Yarn, forgetting to craft anything else. And as you can probably imagine, that went absolutely horrible. But I didn't really have any other options, so I just kept trying to kill Yarn with my melee setup. I wasn't seeing much progress with the Excelsus nor the Cosmic Discharge, so I thought I'd try out the Galaxy Smasher cause I saw Yardus using it once. But I also crafted the Cosmic Chef cause I thought it'd be great. And well, yes, they both let me get to Yarn's phase 2 for the first couple times, they were just not cutting it. And so around 200 runs in, I had the idea to swap to Summoner instead of Melee, so I crafted myself some silver armor, but I ran out of effulgent feathers, so I had to kill Dragon Foley over again. Which I did pretty quickly. Just kidding, I bought the bags from the Hunter NPC from Prisma's Pristine Potions mod. This mod is absolutely amazing. And so with the newly acquired effulgent feathers, I crafted myself the rest of the silver set and the silver wings. And then I needed to get the Calandra mirror, as well as then the Hydra stuff. I forgot you needed to craft Calandra at Shimmer, so when I went to my storage and checked for all the materials and I had them, I was a little bit confused until I checked that. So I crafted a magic mirror, and then bought a shimmer mirror from Prisma's Pristine Potions mod with that, and teleported to the shimmer and crafted myself a Calandra mirror. And now all I needed to complete my summoner setup was the Endo Hydra staff, and for that I needed a staff of the Frost Hydra, which can be also crafted from the Frozen Key. So I killed Cryogen a couple times, got my Frozen Key, teleported home and crafted the Frozen Hydra staff, and then crafted the Endo Hydra staff. Now that I have the Endo Hydra staff, all I needed to complete my summoner set was the Fearmonger armor. However, the recording in which I got it was corrupted, though getting the Fearmonger armor isn't the only thing that happened in that recording. There I also crafted the Nuclear Genesis, as well as the Dark Sun ring. And I can't even show you anything because it doesn't even have a time value. Well, now that my summoner set was complete, I was ready to fight Yarn over again, and I started doing exactly that. And then around 255, I won. But can you guess what happened there? If you guessed something like my PC killed itself and the footage got corrupted, you're absolutely correct. I have no idea why so much of my shit gets corrupted. Please send help. However, I had the ability to redo Yarn, and so I did exactly that. And around 271, that happened. Well, and now that Yarn is dead, I only had to kill 3 more bosses for this playthrough to end. But before killing any more bosses, I had to get a few more upgrades. Well, the first upgrade that I wanted to get my hands on was the Ecto Heart. It's dropped by Poltergeist and permanently increases your adrenaline mod damage by 20% and damage reduction by 5%. Poltergeist took me only half an hour, however I did have to disable Shrooms for his desperation phase because it is quite literally impossible with them. Well, now that I got my adrenaline upgrade, I wanted to go ahead and get Auric Tesla armor. So I got my Blossom pickaxe out and went mining. After mining Auric ore, I went home and crafted the Tarragon and Bloodflare sets that were required to craft Auric Tesla set, and the Dragon Fruit. And now that I upgraded my Summoner set, I was ready to go right into Supreme Calamitous. Well, Supreme Calamitous is the boss I had the most issues with. But, to solve all of them, I just kept banging my head on the wall until it broke. It wasn't really that hard, it just took a while. But in the 463 attempts that I did on the Supreme Calamitous, I could actually try quite a few classes. However, I only really tried ranged, but I still had to kill Adult Adel and Worm for the Halibut Cannon. But first, let's see how I did as a summoner. Oh hey, this is looking very great! Yeah, I killed myself. Well, let's get the halibut cannon because I still wanted to try a ranger. To get that I needed to kill the adult Eidolon worm as I mentioned before. He only took me like 30 or something attempts. He wasn't that difficult because I'm overgeared. Well, now that I killed the adult Eidolon worm, I could finally try out the ranger. All I had to do was to craft the Auric Tesla armor for my ranged setup and I would be ready to go. So I did exactly that and tried a few runs with ranged. Imaginary technique. Fish. Yeah, my survivability was like 10 times worse with ranged than with summoner, so I swapped back to that. But then I remembered that all Duke drops are really good with Sentry for Supreme Calamitas, and it's called the Cadaverous Carrion, so I need to kill old Duke real quick. And this wasn't really a fight because I was overgeared as fuck. So I killed him, got my Cadaverous Carrion, and after 461 attempts total on Supreme Calamitas, I finally won. As you can probably tell by my reaction that I sent in chat because my microphone was off, I was pretty excited. And now that I beat Supreme Calamitas, I had access to a bunch more new weapons and accessories, but I still had the Exomax left to kill. I didn't get that many upgrades though, all I got was the Perdition, Metastasis, Violence, Vigilance and the Shattered Community. But these upgrades were enough to get me to kill Exomax. So now it's time for the final boss of this playthrough. I should mention though, the Shattered Community is absolutely amazing in XMX, so they only took me 41 runs. Well, and now that XMX have died, this run was basically finished. However, I still wanted to do one more thing. So 2 whole months after finishing this run, I logged on once again. I crafted myself Shadow Spec bars and then Demon Sheet armor, got no upgrades and went right into boss rush. So here's my one and only And well, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, please like and sub if you enjoyed, and see you in the next one. Peace.